So today we're going to talk about, because the whole schema of what we're doing is building out our community, social consciousness, and mental health awareness, all that good stuff, education. By incorporating news, we are focusing. We have the '80s event going on Live It, and we are actually doing very well with that event. So shout out Live It. Um, but we're going to air the episodes starting in September on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Okay. So this segment is called Co- Coffee and Convo. So coffee and conversation because it's early in the morning, you know, and we're going to tackle topics that most people may not, they try to stay away from because it may be controversial for some, but we're going to talk about a lot of stuff. So world news, economy, sports, economy and finance, nation health, mental health, small business, society, everything. And the reason for having a diverse panel, or a panel of people where we can get together, is because we don't know. One individual does not have the answer for everything, and there is no I in team. In order to serve the greater good, we got to start having conversations and listening to our people, our community. But the most important part of it is you don't want to be having conversations with people who, really is not in tune to what is going on in the world. Even though every opinion counts, we still have to have facts. And then also, this is a form of storytelling. Like, this is true storytelling at its finest. I know there are a lot of titles out there where people are talking about storytelling and the community, us giving our value, our input. But true storytelling is not biased based on a narrative that one is trying to paint. You need different opinions, input, suggestions, and this is a safe space. So we welcome all the comments. Hello, come on in. We welcome all comments. We welcome, feedback. We will share with you from where, pulling the source, because we want you to have all of the information. And again, we don't know everything, but we are here to learn and we're willing to learn. So, with today's topic, we are talking about business, economy, finance, and something that we love, live streaming. So, CNN posts a Marketplace Asia article today, and the title is China Now Wants to Tell Influencers How to Speak and Dress When Live Streaming. This was posted today at 6:03 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5:03 Central. It says Hong Kong CNN Business. China's crackdown on private business has taken a new, more intrusive turn, with government plans to dictate how live stream shopping influencers speak and dress. The Chinese Ministry of Commerce on Wednesday outlined proposals for an industry standard for live streamers who market products on online shopping platforms. The rules include details about how hosts on such shows should dress or speak in front of the camera, as well as guidelines for how platforms should allow consumers to provide reviews for hosts or the products that they market. Those reviews should also be made public, the ministry said. When the host streams live, his or her clothing and image should not violate public order or good morals, the ministry wrote, adding that their appearance should also reflect their characteristics of the products or services they are marketing. The rules are intended to create a good e-commerce environment for consumers, the ministry said. The rules also suggest that hosts speak Mandarin during the streaming and be objective and honest about the products they try to sell. If the hosts display behavior that violates the law, they should be warned or punished by the e-commerce platform. A move that could include restricting their traffic, suspending them, or even blacklisting and removing their accounts, the ministry added. The regulator is seeking public opinion on the rules until September 2nd. Stocks in Hong Kong dropped Thursday after the rules were revealed. Shares in Alibaba, which operates Tabola, I know that's probably messed up. It's spelled Taobao Live, China's largest live streaming shopping platform, fell more 5% in Hong Kong, hitting lowest since it listed in November 2019. The tech giant shares have almost halved since reaching a peak in late October, shortly before an IPO for its financial affiliate Ant Group was pulled. It goes on to say there's a city, China's second biggest short video app and live streaming e-commerce platform sank about 7%, also touching its lowest level since listing in February. The stock has plummeted nearly 80% this year. Since late last year, Beijing has released an onslaught of regulations hitting industries ranging from tech to private tutoring. The government blames the private sector for creating a series of socioeconomic problems that could destabilize the society. Beijing has signaled the get touch approach to big business will continue. Top leaders from the ruling Communist Party recently laid out a blueprint for how they plan to increase regulatory oversight on companies over the next 5 years. Authorities pledged to strengthen rules for the digital economy, online finance, and big data. And let's see if this is the end. It looks like that is the end of the article. So, what do you guys think about that? I guess I'll start. Y'all both on mute too. Okay, so, you know, being someone that has streamed for how long have we streamed? About 3 years now. In my little opinion, honestly, there needs to be regulation in streaming. And this was part of a discussion in my previous class, Law and Media, or Media and Issues in Law. I think that was the name of the class. But in the US, there are serious violations that occur while people live stream, from cyberbullying to revenge porn to defamation of character, both libel, right? So both slander and defamation. So oral and written. The public uses some social media platforms to cancel people. They have fake funerals. That's on the low end side. But we also know that, which is totally different, we have civilian journalism so there's a need for us to have responsible adults that capture injustices in the world. Also, you may have a whistleblower. You just never know. So that's my take. What do you guys think?
Well, my take is I believe it's a thin line. I've never had the privilege yet to visit China. So I'm not going to speak on their laws because I don't know anything about their laws in that part of their culture. I know very limited what I've studied. But what I do know, in my opinion, and these are only my opinions, when you allow the government to get involved in things, that is not okay with me. So, and with the government, they don't get involved in just bits and pieces. They get involved in all of it. So if you allow them to direct how you dress, how you speak, your opinions on things, they have taken away your freedom of what I believe my freedom of speech. Now, I do agree there is limitations to everything. Like some of the things you were just mentioning, that is not acceptable to me. But just like they have a voice, I have a voice, and I don't want my voice limited. And so just because what I believe, what I say and do is okay, they may not believe what I say and do is okay. I don't want anybody to take that away from me. And that's one reason why I am proud to do things in the area that I live in. That's the way I'm going to say that. Because in other places, you do not have the limit, you do not have the option to say what you want and do what you want. And I mean, I'm not going to lie. I don't know if I can live in that type of environment because I've never lived in the environment where you say yay or nay of what I do or say. Like if I want to wear a topless shirt or a bikini while I'm doing my live stream, I believe that's my choice. You know, now would I do it? Probably not. But I want to be able to have the choice to do that. And it can be as simple as that or as big as making political beliefs, you know. So I think it's a very thin line. And I don't think with anything that we're probably going to talk about is a black or white issue. It's all a lot of gray areas, so you can't. To me, it's very hard to say, oh yes or oh no, you know. So that's just my opinion on that. I'm very limited to this conversation talking about that country, so I'm gonna step back. I don't like to speak on things I don't know about, but that is just my opinion on that. I don't want anybody telling me what I can and can't do, which is awful. But
Crystal.
Now I know you saw me working. I don't even know what happened.
Oh, Lord. So I'm going to just do a little summary. China has already started implementing regulations on live streaming. The changes affect the streamers' dress and speech, the language they use, and then they're also going to provide more regulations. So it's in the e-commerce space, but it's also going to provide more regulations to top businesses as well. They said they're not finished. In the article, I believe it said that the attempt is to correct what did they say? The socio-economic area of streaming. And we talked about, Jamila mentioned, I don't know if you heard Jamila, but she mentioned she's not familiar with China's laws, regulations. And when government steps in and tries to regulate us as a people, they take away rights, and she's not okay with that. And so now we want your input. Oh, I guess I should say I talked about, so basically both of our conversation was from our standpoint in the U.S. But I talked about regulation that's required for streaming because in over the 3 years that we have streamed, there is an abuse of streaming. Right now, the government is not involved in the US, of course, but however, there are serious criminal activities that happen online streaming, scamming classes, uh, character defamation, slander, revenge porn, canceling people, fake funerals, just some of the stuff: leaking addresses, phone numbers, social security numbers, names. So I spoke from that standpoint. We all know that Tweeble is the combination of Twitter, or it can apply to any social media. And hopefully she'll come back. Any social media, but particularly it was Twitter and libel, what they are responsible for. So, okay, so in the regulations, which this is probably we're going to talk about a lot of stuff. Jamila, if you here, come back. But we're already regulated. We already have laws in the U.S. We already have community rules where we can't dress a certain way and you can't say certain things in streaming. However, there are certain things that are really a civil suit, not a criminal suit. And most people, for some reason, don't press the issue or press charges. It's kind of a touchy subject because there's a lot of people say, well, I don't want people telling me what to wear. I don't want them to be involved. But actually, they already are involved, right? We already have laws. They're just not as strict as other countries, but we already have rules and regulations. However, as far as live streaming, especially in the US, there are heinous crimes that are taking place on some of these apps. And being someone who has been on app streaming, and our little group family has been attacked before, right? Honestly, I do think that regulation is, hey, Alabama Angie, is required. Do you want to come up? We're talking about China adding rules for streamers of how they should dress, what they should say. And then we're speaking from the US aspect, determining what the platform, the responsibility of the social media platform, what they will have if somebody violates a law. So what does Tweeble mean? Okay, so I found a better definition. So Tweeble, you on your lunch break? We're talking about social media and also, okay, there you go. Okay, so as she comes up, I will read Tweeble. Tweeble is a social networking service that enables users to send and receive messages called tweets. So this is particular Twitter. Hey. Tweets can be sent from a computer or mobile devices such as smartphones and are by default visible to all those who are following the tweeter. Twitter has become an influential tool for broadcasting and communication, and people utilize Twitter to report news, discuss global affairs, and express personal opinions on everything from investments and cars to political and private individuals. In some cases, the opinions are tantamount to libel and can reach millions of people within seconds. So the issue with that is they're allowed to post what they want, especially on Twitter, because unlike FB will shut them down faster.
Hey, Crystal.
But and when you talk about like governance, what's happening, so there's a law that actually. Hi.
Jellic saw that I was on. He said, "I want
to be live." Okay. There's a law that actually exonerates. So basically, if there is something that happens on Twitter, on FB, right, they are really not responsible. They are protected. and I'm trying to find the law. I think it's called the 23rd something. But it deals with defamation of character and the responsibility of the social media outlet. And the reason why I thought about it is because there was a case that was brought against Amazon, who had, they have a self-publishing platform, and there was someone who published a book that taught predators how to help minors safely date them. So it was a big uproar, and eventually, at first, Amazon didn't want to get involved, but eventually, due to public scrutiny, they removed it. Legally, they didn't have to remove it because, so just like that's what's going on with the social media apps. When we're like, hey, don't you see them doing this? You could be sued. It depends. It depends. So, and then Alabama Angie, I'm gonna let you add some input too, because I forgot to say we're filming these episodes, so you'll be on Netflix, and
I'll be. You're filming me while I'm eating.
Coffee-and-Convo. Hey, Coffee-and-Convo. That's what it's called.
There you go. Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Experience on other apps as well, right? Mm-hmm. And as far as so China, just to give you a brief overview, they announced regulations that they're going to implement to their live streamers who are in the e-commerce world. So they have to speak in Mandarin. They're going to regulate their speech, and they're going to regulate their dress because of the social economic, whatever they're doing, that I guess is immoral. They want morals and ethical practices added. So, we're not over there, so we don't really know what is going on. However, speaking, and Jamila made a good point, because we don't want a lot of federal regulations into what we do, right? She's not in agreement with adding rules and regulations. Me, on the other hand, as far as streaming is concerned, I'm all for rules and regulations, because I've been on apps for 3 years, and I have seen all types of heinous behavior that occurs, from revenge porn to slander, to defamation of character, leaking addresses, phone numbers, social security numbers, relatives' names, going to graves of relatives, stalking, fights.
What?
Yeah.
Girl, I'm behind. I must have been living under a rock. I never watched the news.
Crystal was at work, but she nodded yes, because she has witnessed the same stuff that we have witnessed.
Crystal, you have done that too? You've heard of all this stuff? Wow.
She muted herself.
Yeah, she's got herself muted out, but that's okay.
Yeah. So give us your take on, your experience and what you think about.
Like my experience with different platforms?
Just as far as this is concerned about regulation.
Okay.
Speech, dress type stuff.
Yeah. Well, I think we all have to, it all starts with the way you were raised, and, like my mama taught me better. You're not going to see me posting anything crazy. You're not going to see me bashing anybody. You'll never hear me bash anybody. Now, they mess with my grandkids or my kids, that might be a little different. But you're not going to see this girl bashing anybody or trying to put anybody down. But I do think that a lot of the platforms out there, that they could be a little bit stricter. They let a lot of, I guess you call it trolls. I mean, I had a friend that had 160,000 followers, and nothing wrong with her account. I absolutely loved it. But it's like, she's beautiful. She's got the perfect figure. I don't hate her for it. I'm like, girl, you work hard every day to keep a body like that, and you go, girl, put that bikini on or whatever. But people was bashing her, and they would open up new accounts. So I think they're going to have to tighten up about stuff like that. But they were saying nudity and all that and violence, and she was doing nothing wrong. So
right.
now Twitter, on the other hand, I mean, I think they get into a lot of the politics more. I have a Twitter account, but girl, I don't even know how to tweet nothing. I ain't tweeted in forever. If I have, I don't remember it. So, but yeah, I do think they're, if people don't know how to act right on this app, that's why they have to have, or not just this app, but different apps, platforms. That's why they have to have rules and stuff, because somebody has already broke that, or done that, and that's why they have handbooks and stuff, because somebody has gotten out of line somewhere. So, but you did find it, Nichole? Because I definitely want to hear that before I hang up.
It says Section 230 of the Communications Decency Acts provides, as part of its broader review of marketing lending online platforms, the U.S. Department of Justice analyzed Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act of 1996, which provides immunity to online platforms from civil liability based on third-party content and for removal of content in certain circumstances. So you can't sue them. You got to sue the individual. Now, probably depending on the severity, or if they knowingly, if it's against the community rules, right, and you still let the broadcast air, then I don't know about that, right? So, because we have seen instances where the person was not banned and the stream continued, and then you had whatever happened. So in those cases, I think that the situation may be different, but ultimately they have to sue the offender. So yeah, they're not responsible. But I sure sent somebody a cease and desist. And I sent somebody a cease. I sent a platform a cease and desist. And they moved on it, but that's why all of this stuff is dragged out. Because what actually happens is, in cases of revenge porn, you got to press charges against the person. In cases where it is slander, defamation, you gotta press charges against the person. Now, what I'm not sure, like socially, economically, morally, I just don't know how they review terminating the person off the app, because a lot of times that doesn't happen. They don't remove the person, but something has to happen. So I just saw that and I was like, wow, interesting. I mean, I'm not in China, but I ain't mad at them for that. But I don't even think China, but I haven't watched any streams, but I think like the US has some of the worst conduct, but I could be wrong. We say whatever we want to, truth or lie. And it's horrible. So yeah, I'm gonna make sure I save this, because it stuck out in my head. I was like, man, you mean what? So you probably start off trying to sue them, but it's just interesting. Crystal, did you have anything you want to add to that? Can you just add something? Nope, she's still running around.